This is a very important event for us. We do these things very infrequently and only for the greatest bands in the world. This is a Hall of Fame induction, the Edge Hall of Fame induction. Coldplay, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Smashing Pumpkins, Foo Fighters, they have all been inducted. And today we are doing the Black Keys. So would you please welcome Patrick and Dan. Thank you for making the time. I have been told that the show on Sunday night at Budweiser Stage was the biggest show of the tour.
Correct.
That's so. Before we get into so, I want to talk about your relationship with Canada. I mean, this is your second biggest market in the world, is it not?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is the relationship between? You're just on the other side of the lake, basically. So what's the relationship between that part of the world and us?
I mean, we're honorary Canadians, I think. You know, we used to come here when we were 19 to drink. Yeah. And go record shopping. So,
yeah. Do you remember where you went shopping?
I mean, I just remember drinking way too much at El Macombo.
Okay. And then probably heading over to Yonge Street.
Kensington Market and stuff, yeah.
Cool stuff. Well, it's nice to have a couple of days off between gigs. Although I understand that after the show on Sunday, you went to a bar and you DJ'd for 4 hours. Did you really do that?
We've been spinning records sometimes after shows, yeah.
How do you have the energy to spin for 4 hours after you're playing for like 90 minutes, 2 hours?
Well, I mean, after a show, I'm up anyway, because after playing drums.
And you can't sleep.
I can't, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a nice way to wind down, to be honest.
So what was in your set?
Well, we only spin 45s, and we play anything but, from garage rock to funk and soul records, and African records, Jamaican records, anything really.
I mean, Ideas kind of play stuff that most people might not be super familiar with, so it's hit free. But the Ideas try to find songs that should have been hits.
Right. I guess this was a surprise to everybody who might have been in the bar, right?
No, we announced it like the day before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was a good crowd. There were a couple hundred people there.
Nice. What was the name of the venue? I can't remember.
Standard Time.
Standard Time. That's right. I want to let's just go talk about Akron for a while. Akron has always been this place. I mean, have you seen the Devo documentary yet?
Not yet, but I've been told to see it. Yeah.
It's brilliant, and they spend a lot of time talking about Akron. Then you got the Chrissy Hynde, the Pretenders. I mean, that's got an Akron thing. There's you got the new tour, you got the album. I'm working on a movie that's set at Kent State.
Okay.
So Akron is having a moment. What was the environment growing up there like? I mean,
I mean, Akron, when we were kids, it was like all the factories, every tire company essentially was based there, and they shut down while we were kids. So, yeah, it was just a lot of empty factories, the downtown. There was a pawn shop and a porno theater, and a
peanut shop.
And a peanut shop. Only the peanut shop still in business. But, yeah, it was kind of... It was a good place to go to estate sales because everybody was dying and leaving, and we could buy all their stuff. So we had really good record collections from our dads and from buying stuff at the Goodwill and stuff. But yeah, it was
your dad was a big antique guy, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he did for a living, and I would help him. Me and my brother would help him go picking, and but that's why he lived in Ohio, was because he could go all around in the country and pick.
Akron's a lot different today, though. It seems to have rebounded a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's better than when we were kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of grew up in we grew up in the same neighborhood. We would like trade baseball cards and play baseball in the park, and eventually, some of the kids got into music because there wasn't a ton to do, especially since the weather's the same as here, and 7 months a year where you can't really do anything outside. So it's just a matter of time before you either get sucked into video games or making music or smoking weed, I guess, and listening to records in your basement.
If anybody wants a musical reference, all you have to do is go to the Pretenders' "My City Is Gone," and that basically talks about what it used to be like.
Yeah, and like in the late '60s, there was a riot, and the city decided to tear down a historic part of town and put the most useless interstate in. I think it's like the least traveled interstate in America, and they, kind of screwed it up.
Let's talk about the show the other night. So 18,000 people, biggest crowd on the tour. You played a 23-song set. How do you determine? I mean, 13 albums. I mean, how do you determine what you're going to put on your set these days? There's a lot of hits to play, but you also want to get.
We can't please everyone, you know.
No.
We have too many records to play everything. So, you know, we try to pick some fan favorites. We try to pick a few songs that we haven't played before, and maybe a cover or two. You know, throw those in.
Do they change from show to? Does the set list change from show to show?
A little bit. You will change a couple songs. Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool for you doing the Can't Heat song the other night, and it never occurred to me the similarities between you guys and the Can't Heat until I saw you do it. So that makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, we love Can't Heat, and we love that record, and that's one of the ones that, you know, every once in a while we'll spin that at a record hang. That always goes over well.
Yeah, the first time you might hear this song, like, is that singer in tune? Is he in key? But it works if you listen to it long enough. Okay, the new album, No Rain, No Flowers, features some rather interesting contributions. I'm fascinated by guys like Rick Knowles. Here is a guy that lurks in the background of the music industry. Nobody knows his name, but he has helped artists sell 250 million records. Just to give you an idea who we're talking about, Madonna, Lana Del Rey, Dido, Celine Dion, Backstreet Boys, Belinda Carlisle. Those are a few, but there's a lot more. But what I noticed, not a lot of rock bands on his resume. So what attracted you to Rick Knowles for this record?
I was initially interested in Rick when I worked with Lana on her Ultraviolence record, and I kept seeing his name pop up. And I always wondered, you know, who is this Rick guy? Because I knew Lana didn't...
So you didn't know him either?
No, not at all. Not at all. And but I knew I loved those songs, and I knew Lana didn't play the keyboards, you know, and that was Rick, you know. So I was always intrigued by him because he was able to write pop songs that were really melancholy, and I loved that. So, you know, when we were thinking about who to write with, his name just popped up, and we didn't know really where he was or what he did generally, but so we reached out to him, and he said that he had never been to Nashville, but that he had a trip planned there in 2 weeks, and he had 2 free days, and so it felt like it was meant to be.
Yeah, it does. Another guy is Daniel Tashian. Again, he's almost exclusively country. I'm not terribly surprised that he's involved, given the location of Easy Eye Studios.
Daniel Toshin was one of the first people I met when I moved to Nashville. When we moved to Nashville 15 years ago, and there was like a little get-together in the neighborhood I moved into, and I was talking to this guy about this band. I was obsessing over this garage rock record from a band called The Remains from the mid-'60s, and the guy I'm talking to is like, do you realize that my dad was the singer of that band? And I said, I mean, the odds of that happening. And that was Daniel. His dad, Barry, was the singer of The Remains. So from that moment, him and I were buddies. And he became very successful in writing a lot of stuff with, like, Casey Musgraves. But, you know, when we work with him, we kind of, you know, we work with, like, kind of all these people differently. With him, he kind of sits in the room, and he just becomes another member of the band. We start jamming and come up with ideas. So, you know, I think it's fun for him. And it's a lot of fun for us. So, you know, it just depends, like, you know, that's the cool thing about music, is that it is a collaborative art. That's what made me interested in it from the beginning, wanting to be in a band, you know. And since there's just the two of us, and we've been doing this long enough that we have a really good understanding of how to navigate, like, you know, making something in a group setting. Like, it's really easy for us to have people come in and make something. So we kind of just realized that, I guess, in the last maybe 7, 8 years, but we've been, helping other people make records for 20 years each. So
This was probably the most collaborative Black Keys record. Do you think? No.
I don't think so. I mean, each record we make, I think, since we worked with Danger Mouse, I think there's been some sort of collaboration. The last album, we we had a few different songwriters that we worked with, kind of the same, almost the same number, and even the Delta Cream record before that, we brought in Kenny Brown, and we played with a bass player for the first time ever on record. So, we're always kind of mixing it up, trying new things.
Like El Camino was super collaboration between Dan, Danger Mouse, and I, and then even then, we'd bring in like an outside mixer, start realizing, like the more...
Yeah, Danger Mouse really opened our eyes to collaboration.
He's brilliant.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. And we didn't know how much we would enjoy it until we worked with Brian. And then we kind of look for that every time we make a record now.
So again, there's Scott Storch, who's on the record. He was with the Roots, and then he played keyboards for Dr. Dre and did a bunch of other things. Again, not a lot of rock on his resume. And Desmond Child, who has a lot of rock on his resume, but it's Kiss, Joan Jett, Bon Jovi, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, but also Cher, Ricky Martin, and Michael Bolton. So, I mean, these are wildly diverse people that are coming into the Black Keys universe. What did you learn from them?
I mean, each person you work with, you learn something new, and you can take it on to the next experience, really. And that's part of the fun of it. And, just being in Nashville opened our eyes to all these different songwriters. Someone like Desmond lives in Nashville. That's how I met him. I'd worked on a few different projects with him. Daniel Tashin, too, lives in Nashville, so he's around and worked with him a few times. But,
Now, we should say about Nashville that, yes, it's country music city, but it's so much more than that now.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of a kind. It's an entire city that supports music, and you're just surrounded by extremely talented people, writers, musicians. Everywhere you look, there's someone who's more talented than you. You know what I mean? So it's an incredible place to be if you make records.
Let's talk about your studio. When did you... That was the old RCA studios, was it not?
It's a couple blocks from
it's a
the
couple
old
blocks.
RCA studios. Yeah, it's right downtown Nashville, and I built it the year I moved, 16 years ago.
It must be a lot easier having your own place to work when you're doing a project like an album, right?
We've always worked in our own space. I mean, except for a couple sessions here and there. Like when we made Brothers, we went down to Muscle Shoals and we worked there for.
And didn't you have to
11 days.
reconstruct Muscle Shoals?
We had to bring everything
Yeah.
with us.
When we went there, it was just broken.
Yeah.
We
Like,
reconstructed it into basically our basement.
There was a show. I think it was called like Kids Incorporated or something. It was like about some kids that found an abandoned TV studio and then like start making a show. I mean, I think this existed. It was psychotic, and I watched it when I was 4 years old. But it was kind of like that. We showed up to the studio that nothing had really been done in, but yeah, really did. From the very first record, we were working in a basement in a house I was living in, and we've done everything kind of.
No, but having your own place is a real luxury, and we love to be able to have our own space to go to and have all our stuff set up and be able to create in a little environment where we feel comfortable and really at ease. You know?
I counted 31 different musicians on this record, including a 6-piece string section, and then 16 or so technical people.
The string session was cut in Philly, and the guy who wrote and conducted was Larry Gold, who did all the classic Sound of Philadelphia strings. Scott Storch hooked us up with him, so he was a legend, and we got him to do the strings for us.
It's like the old TSOP guy?
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's explains the soul feeling on that particular song.
Yeah.
The album is front-loaded with singles. For people who still do the proper thing and listen to albums all the way through from front to back, the first five of the first 7 tracks are all singles. Did you expect that to happen?
We started doing that on Brothers, and it seemed to work. Putting the songs that might be catchiest at the top of the album. And unfortunately, that's the recipe.
Yeah. You hope people last all the way through to the end, but I mean, 5 of 7 opening, and there's 11 songs, so that should, sucker them through to the end.
Trust me, it doesn't. Trust me.
Now, I was looking at there. Okay, let's talk about the album overall. There is it shinier? It's got a more of a sheen, more of a smooth groove than other Black Keys records, or is that just me reading into something?
No, I mean, I think Ohio Players is really scuzzy.
Yeah.
So comparatively, yeah, I think. But I think really these record hangings we've been doing, like like Dan said, we're playing a diverse, like tons of different genres, but it's all kind of the ideas that people maybe dance to the songs we're playing. So I think that kind of is reflective in this album.
Yeah, The Night Before, for example. I mean, that's a really smooth groove song.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a little bit less aggressive on the mix. And that was just and I think that was just a matter of the moment we were in. I think whenever we go in a studio and make something, it's reflective of the exact state of where our taste is at that moment, and it changes.
Well, again, looking at the liner notes, which somebody should still do these days, you've got a mellotron on the record. You've got a vocoder on the record. You've got a theremin on the record. That sort of stuff doesn't happen if you're renting out a studio at $1,500 a day because you're experimenting with sounds and different players. I mean, a theremin?
I mean, we both have crazy collections of instruments, and we've been collecting since we first started touring and making some money. So that was like the whole idea. Like eventually, after Magic Potion, it was like, how do we start incorporating some of these other tones onto our record? And so that's when we enlisted really Danger Mouse. It was like we want to just approach making a record as if we were a 4-piece band, and that's what we started doing like 2007. And so yeah, when we go in the studio, it's not like it's usually very thoughtful about what we're trying to do. Like it's like it's a lot of Moog bass on a lot of our albums, but especially this one. And I mean, we're from the land of Devo, so
you have to have.
Yeah.
I saw you had a Juno synthesizer there too, as well as the Moog.
We have a pretty hefty collection of
Okay,
these things.
let's get gear nerdy here because I love this stuff. I would love to be able to play in your warehouse or your storage room or whatever it is. What do you have in there?
Dan has a modular Moog from 1969 that we can't figure out how to use.
It looks amazing, though.
I bet. Is it like the Tonto thing, and it's just...
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Like, ARP 2600. I think I have the actual Devo Mark Mothersbaugh Mini Moog. Because it has this very weird mod on it, and it's just very nerdy, but I'm like 90% sure it has to be. It's because it says modded especially for Mark.
Wow.
And his company that did it only existed from 78 to 79.
Was it a local company?
Riviera Music Services in Boston. There was some very expensive mods so you could distort it and do all this stuff. But yeah, we have, we've got tons of stuff.
Yeah, but everything in the studio is set up and ready to go, too. It's not like in storage.
Right.
It's mic'd and ready, all the keyboards, every single one.
That's cool.
So we can just flow and go and create and not worry about setting stuff up. And if something's broken, we take it out of the studio, get rid of it, get it fixed. We don't want to be slowed down.
It's kind of like going to Abbey Road. Have you ever been to the studio? And they have all that gear lining the hallways, ready for anybody.
Tape machines and stuff, yeah. Most studios you go to don't have instruments, So
No.
It's
And they don't let you touch anything.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's like the first time we tried to go to a studio, I just was like, you need to make it sound shittier. And the guy was like, that's not the point. I was like, that's what we're trying to do. And I touched the knob. He's like, don't touch anything. And we went back. It was like Groundhog's Day. It's like we tried to emerge to go use a real studio, and we had to go back 5 more years in the basement.
What was the other thing? Oh, how many guitars? Well, how many drum kits do you think you have?
Not a ton. I mean, 12 or something.
Are they what is okay? I play drums.
Yeah.
So why would you have multiple kits?
Well, I have like 8 that I've used on tour, and then maybe 3 recording kits, 4 actually. So yeah,
How many guitars do you think you have?
I really don't know. One of each.
6. I bet he has 60 or guitars.
Has anybody ever approached you about doing a signature model?
Yeah.
Would you do it?
I don't think so. I like, weird, old, funky guitars,
What have you guys got planned for the near future? Oh, first of all, what did you do with your day off yesterday?
I walked all over the place.
Yeah.
I walked for miles, really.
Walked
Had
around.
some great Chinese food.
On Spadina? Or where? Do you know?
I forget what it was called, but it was good.
We have very good Chinese food here.
Yes.
Very
you
good.
do.
Verified.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't.
Well, you do have, and we were talking about Akron earlier backstage here. The name of the pizza place is called Luigi's, which has the wildest salad that you've ever had because it's basically just what, lettuce and mozzarella cheese.
Psychotic food, but
It is.
it's a staple. Yeah.
And I keep forgetting the Swenson burger.
Swenson's. Yeah.
Swenson's, yeah. And there was a sausage that.
Oh, that was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's competing burger places in Akron, but the thing about the Akron burger is if you order it with everything, it's mustard, onion, pickles. That's it.
Yeah.
That's everything.
That's everything. But there's this place in New Haven called Louis Lunch, and they claim to have invented the burger. And I'm just like, the way that they serve it, it's like on white bread, and it's just like puck of meat with like a slice of fresh tomato. And they say they've been doing it since 1909, but like, where are they getting tomatoes in January in Connecticut
1909.
in 1909?
Before refrigeration.
We're calling BS.
It's got me stuck. I can't wrap my head around it. I keep trying to solve it. I don't know where they're getting these tomatoes.
I should let you know that the only station in all of the United States that runs Ongoing History of New Music is in Akron. So they have a very good station there called The Summit, and they're very good people. And I know that you guys know Brad and everybody else there as well.
We just saw him last week.
He's like a puppy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what have you got coming up in the near future?
We have another couple weeks of this tour. Then we're gonna take a couple days off, and then probably start working in the studio again.
Do you ever take extended breaks? Because 13 albums in what, 24 years, I think.
What would you consider an extended break?
I don't know. I mean, U2 goes away for 6 years, 10 years.
No.
No.
We don't.
We took one break from we took a break between like late 2015 to late 2018, like 3 years. But in that time, we both produced a lot of
Yeah, about
other
15,000
records.
different records, both of you.
Yeah, and then that's like a normal break for most bands, like Arcade Fire. They're bands like that. I think they usually take 3-4 years for an album. But we usually don't. So like we put out a record in 2019, 2019, 2021, 2022, 2024, 2025, and there will probably be one next year.
See, that's a hell of a schedule. Who would you like to work with and produce? Forget about Black Keys stuff for just a moment. Who would you like to collaborate with on their project?
So I don't know, Joe Strummer.
He may be unavailable.
I know. For the last 23 years, I know. There's so many people that we, Captain Beefheart, he's also passed away.
Also unavailable.
I know.
I can't imagine a Captain Beefheart Black Keys collaboration. That would be something else.
I do have 2 of his paintings.
Oh, really?
So maybe I can extract some of his DNA and
Clone him.
or just use AI, I guess.
Something along those lines. Well, appreciate you guys being here. We do have the presentation. Like I said, we don't do this very often. Smashing Pumpkins, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Coldplay, Foo Fighters, Tragically Hip, and now inducted into our Hall of Fame, the Black Keys.
Amazing.
Appreciate you guys coming. We have a
Thank
couple
you.
of other interviews to do. I'll be in Akron again shortly, and maybe we'll go to Swenson's because I have not had
have
a
to go.
You got to.
I got to do that because I'm not going back to Luigi's for that.
No,
that
we
salad.
don't want to do that.
All right, thanks. Patrick and Dan from the Black Keys, thank you
you.
all for coming.